if you have an idea around widgets, you're gonna love this new feature in SaasRock 1.3, where you can build chat bubbles, analytic trackers, feedback dialogues, pretty much anything that is embeddable into a website and you want to sell it. Like simple analytics provide this code that you embed into your website. And in my case, I get this page view tracking dashboard, or in DataLang, where I already used this feature, I have this widget configuration page, like appearance and the model specification, and this is rendered on the end website like this, like a chatbot bubble, and I can chat with it because I connected it to ChatGPT. But how do you get started with SaasRock 1.3? This is enterprise only, by the way. So first, go to app widgets configuration and enable it. And then you will have this enabled page where you have widgets sidebar and the widgets table where the users can create new names, widget names. But what I'm going to build, like as a minimal example, is something like this, where you have the feedback model and the user sends it. So the tenant, which is owner of the widget, will have those submissions. And the first thing that I will do is change this widget's key to websites. So in translations file, I'm gonna replace widgets to websites and add website, and do the same thing for Spanish, French, or any other translation language that you support. So I now have this name, this new add website key. And another thing is that you can extend a little bit your properties, like adding this new description dynamic property just for quick implementation. So the name is going to be my site SaasRock, and the description is going to be feedback submissions for this site. Now I can change some things, like obviously the details. I get the embeddable code and change the appearance. Like I'm gonna set it to violet and dark, and the position is gonna be bottom left. And I can put the logo here, but I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now on the widget project, the first thing that you need to do is go to .m.example and duplicate it and rename it to .env. This is gonna be your local testing configuration. Now, if I set an invalid widget ID, the project will not load anything. If I go to console, I have this object which contains data not found. This is hitting the API endpoint at the SaasRock project API widget ID. And we have this: if the widget from this params ID is not found, return this status. So it doesn't happen anything. So let's put it a valid ID, which is the recently created widget. Going back, stopping the widget project, setting the environment variable, and reloading the project, we now have these two components. The first one is this bubble. You can change the icon or the close icon, and then the component. This component is like a chat interface, but it obviously doesn't work. You can just send test or test error to check what's the default implementation. But if you are building something like an analytics tracker, you don't even need the bubble. In that case, you will do everything behind the scenes. So where you have the bubble, instead of returning the bubble button, like here, you can return like, I'm just gonna return hello, just to show you that you don't need to return anything, but the widget is already there. So in this component, you can do whatever you are doing, like tracking something. But in this case, it's gonna be a bubble because I will click and then the user will send the feedback. And the good thing about this is that you can use shadcn. So I'm gonna use this card component, and I'm gonna stop the server and install this. But remember, you need to be as lightweight as possible because this is a widget that is going to be loading on your customer sites. So they will not want that loading 1 MB of code. So I'm just going to use the same code like this. I'm going to copy this component and create it as a feedback form and paste it. But this is not the way I'm calling my components. I'm just gonna import from the local because I'm on the components folder. And I also need this label component. Actually, no, because I don't need the label for the name. I'm just gonna have the message submission from the feedback. So removing the select as well and just leaving the input, which is gonna be called name. Removing the select as well, and placeholder is I'd like to see, and that's the placeholder, but we can change here the title, send feedback, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so closing this component. How do I call this feedback form component? On the bubble and the bubble button, we have this widget component that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to comment it. If I save it, you can see that it's going to be empty here. And I'm going to import this feedback form. Okay, so now it's working, but I need to remove this fixed height and fixed width. And I think that's on here on the feedback card. Okay, so maybe the padding is a little bit off. Let's see, where is it, the padding? Well, it doesn't matter. And also the width shouldn't be fixed, because if it's on a smaller screen, it's gonna be overflow. So this is only when it hits the empty breakpoint, but that's the limit, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so now it works on desktop and mobile. Now, but it's actually bugging me, this border. I think it's because of the padding. So it's border, but I don't have, yeah, it's because it's border. No, maybe the shadow, rounded, remove the border. Yeah, I think it was the border. So I'm gonna look for border and remove it. Where's the border? Here it is. Okay. So whenever I type here and click deploy, I want to call this action, which is on the widget endpoint. I have this action named test widget, and that action is called on this function on test widget, which receives a content string. So this feedback form needs to pass that function. Let's pass it here and the message. So we need to hit this function whenever we hit deploy. So this button type should be of type submit. So let's grab all of these inside the form, so we can have this form as, I think I need to set this post, because it's not a form for getting. And the input is going to be required. And I think that's it. Well, maybe the cancel on click on cancel, and we need to pass this component as well, which is going to close the bubble. Let's try on close. I think set open to false. Yeah, okay. So we have this cancel working. Now let's hit hello and deploy. What happened? It tried to call nothing, because I'm not calling this on test widget. So I need to override the form submission. So I'm gonna call on submit. I will stop the propagation and get the message and send it to this function. So try again. but I think this tab froze, so I'm gonna close this and open a new one and try again. And let's see the network tab. Hello. So now it worked. It says okay. So on the SaasRock project, I should have gotten the success. Content received, null, because here it's name, and I'm sending name. I'm not getting the name correctly, I don't think. Oh yeah, I'm missing the name, not the ID from the form. So let's try again. Hi, and going back. Feedback submission for this site. I mean, didn't I get the submission? Hello, deploy. And now content received, hello. Okay, now what can we do as a tenant customer of the widget? We want to receive the submissions, but I'm not gonna do the whole UI for submissions. I'm gonna create a new channel for notifications, I think, like this one, feedback received. So you can do it this way. Whenever it's success, I will have this notification service called send to roles, and it's gonna be on a new channel that I create, like tenant admins, and the notification message, it's going to be feedback received, and then the content, and the tenant ID, it's from the current widget ID. This is from where is it? I don't have it here, I don't think. So item find from the widget ID parameters. If it's not found, return. And now I can use this tenant ID, and I need to create this channel. This only takes a while. Here on notification channels, tenant admins, and I need to create this as well. Tenant admins with these roles, super admins and admins. No. Yeah, only super admins. And for this to work, I need to go to Navu and go to my dashboard and create this new workflow called tenant admins, and add an in-app step and set here the message. So let's update it and test the widget again. Hi, 2. So let's see if it works. Okay, now it works. So this way, the customers are able to embed this code into any website, and they will receive this type of notifications. Now let me see if I'm missing something to show you. No, I don't think so. So how can you deploy this? You can run this npm run build, and you will have this embed.js that you need to copy and paste it into your SaasRock project inside the public folder along with the favicon. So I'm going to paste it here. And now we can use this embeddable code to put it on the root to test this specific widget. So if I refresh, now I have this widget that comes from this site. So just to make sure that I'm not calling another widget like widget 2, I'm just gonna update my widget just so you see that I'm rendering the correct widget. But any changes require a new build. So let's add this widget title, and we need to receive this object from the params of this object with widget DTO. And we're gonna receive the widget name, its name, not title. So in the bubble, we also need to pass this widget object. And let's start in development mode and refresh to see if the changes are being set. Now we have the title. Now, if you notice, it's being opened automatically. You can specify on the main TS here on development mode. You can set the open delay to 0, so it's instant, or to 10 seconds, but that doesn't make any sense. So 0 seconds, so it's instant. And we can also set this input to autofocus. So autofocus, so the user doesn't need to click it. And finally, let's try building it. Yeah, I think that's it. I need to try and build it, but we want to receive the data that the feedback was received. So before testing it on the bubble, I have this action data, I mean widget data, that I can pass to the feedback form, and that is a typed object. So you can use widget data. So whenever we have an error, this is undefinable, so you need to set it like that. So we need to check if error, let's render error banner with the title error and the text from the upcoming error. Otherwise, check if the widget is success. And in this case, we're not gonna return a banner, but a card header. Otherwise, we're gonna render the whole form. And I'm gonna grab this inside a div. Where is it? Where's the card header, card footer? It's here. Okay, so if I send test error, I'm closing the, okay, I'm just gonna hit click, and I'm getting this error sending message. Why is that? Testing error, but I'm not rendering correctly the error. Just so I know, on the bubble, I'm gonna stringify the widget data, test error, and it's not even here. Let's comment this. Okay, so it should work. So I'm gonna stringify inside the feedback form, because I'm not sure why it's not rendering the widget data. Again, test error, and somewhere on the network we should have this. It's sending okay, but why is that? The data, it's returning as error. Let's try and debug this. We're getting this data returned correctly, but we're not rendering accordingly, because we should be able to render the error. So here, error sending message, and I think we're not setting the data. Let's try and catch. It's only setting the error, but not the widget data. And I think this was a mistake on this. So I'm gonna set the error like this and try again. Okay, so now we get the testing error. So going back, if it's an error, we're gonna render inside a div, and then the card content, which is gonna be the banner. And I think that will look better. Yeah. Now we need to test a success test. Okay, sent feedback. Well, but we need to thank the user. Thank you. Your feedback has been sent. And that's it. we now have a functional widget, but it's not capturing the enter. I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe I need to but if I use form from Remix, because I think it's something capturing the wrong fields. But anyway, functional widget, hit deploy. Well, it's not deploy, it's send. So again, hello, again, send, thank you. And here we should have this hello again. And what else? If I send it, oh, I forgot to npm run build and update the changes to the new widget. So going to the embed, I can copy this content and paste it on the SaasRock embed field. So I now have this new test where I can test the error, or I can send another message and I should receive this notification. And yeah, that's it. So let me know if you want to see another tutorial like this, but you can see the power of widget-based SaaS applications.